why do we have people coming out to sign the peace accord and yet they still instigate so much violence in their constituency? I've seen some videos that you put out, and then you have people who are supposed to know better, but then they still sign the peace accord and then they still instigate violence. Does it mean that they do not know what they are signing into?
They know what they are signing, but because there is no implementation, so there is no any penalty against them. If there is a kind of penalty in our constitution that after when you have signed a peace accord before the election, and if you are found guilty of that, this is something will happen whether you win the election or not. Are you getting me? That time you will set their thinking.
So what does penalty mean? What kind of penalty are you looking at?
Yes,
such people, especially those that like you said, they have immunity clause.
Yeah. If the penalty, if we are to talk of the penalty, you know, once the penalty should be that before the swearing, you know, after the swearing like this, you don't have anything to do with it until that tenure is over. If he's not able to be re-elected again, but the penalty should be within the context of the period of electing that person before the swearing in.
Let's begin this conversation taking a quote from John Fitzgerald Kennedy, popularly known as JFK. That's he's always referred to by his initials, JFK. He was an American politician who served as the 35th president of the United States from 1961 until his assassination in 1963. He once said, "Peace is a daily, a weekly, a monthly process, gradually changing opinions, slowly eroding old barriers, and quietly building new structures." Absolutely spot on. Our next one is from Frank Sinatra, who is an American singer, author, actor, and producer. He once said, "If you don't know the guy on the other side of the world, love him anyway, because he is just like you. He has the same dreams, the same hopes and fears. It is one world, pal. We are all neighbors." I love this one. Now, the last one we'll be taking is from Jimi Hendrix. He is an American guitarist, singer, and songwriter. He once said, "When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace." Great. Don't you just love this quote? Now let's see how this quote relates to what we'll be discussing tonight. Very warm greetings and welcome to The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Annabel Orji. Now, even though we seldom recite the national anthem fully these days, especially in schools and in religious centers or even national gatherings, it is really sad, because maybe we need to do that a lot so that we can drive home, especially the points that were written in the national anthem, so that for some people to carefully listen to them again and know them. Now, for especially those kind of people, we will recite the national anthem. Join me and let's do this. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love, strength, and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain, to serve with heart and might. One nation bound in freedom, peace, and unity. The second one says, O God of creation, direct our noble cause. Guide our leaders right, help our youth the truth to know. In love and honesty to grow, and living just and true. Great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. And I will say amen to that. So we need to walk the talk. If you just read it out with me and you have peace in your mind and you want to throw out peace to the world, walk this talk. Now, that said, that already made you to know what we're going to be discussing tonight. Let's go on this quick break, and when we return, we'll continue with this conversation with my guest, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Conversation. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We're reaching you from Kaftan's Television here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to our chat for tonight. Our chat is with Kamiludeen Lamina. He is the executive chairman of World Institute for Peace. It's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great. All right, now let's start by talking about peace. What does peace mean or entail to you?
Peace is harmonious well-being and freedom from hostile aggressions. So peace is when people are able to resolve their conflicts and can come together to improve the quality of their lives. Simple. Yeah.
So what does, for you, if someone asks you, what does it entail to be in a peaceful environment or live in a peaceful society?
Yeah, everyone needs to have it at the back of his or her mind that peaceful coexistence is responsibility of each and every one of us. So it is not entangled, or it is not pivoted to just a center. So it is the responsibility of the people in any given society.
All right, now this definition that you actually just pointed out, for Nigeria, are we in a peaceful country?
Well, let me say, at times let me use it this way. For some period, if there is no issue of politics, people of Nigeria still get the mindset of having a cordial relationship, which we can term as that Nigeria is in a peaceful condition. But whenever there is election coming up, after the election, there is post-election like this. So it will slowly come up like some uproars. So, and what causes this, what usually happens before the election, like people talking of tribal, people talking of religions and all this. If you can remember during the primaries of the political parties, there were issues of complaining that some people went for Christian, Muslim, some people went for Muslim, and all these kind of, that is one. Thereafter, there is another issue of complaining about the tribal, that, okay, now there is a particular tribe who has been governing this nation for a while. So that's all. And during the post this thing, we might get it right. But before the election, I want to tell you that there was never something I can call as peace, as peaceful coexistence before the election, but which always come up after the election, that peace will prevail for sometimes, yes. But for Nigeria as a whole, it's because some part of the nation is being disturbed by, let's say, what is going on in the northwest, what is going on in the northeast, about the insecurity of a thing. Like in the past, if we are to talk of that, is Nigeria truly living peacefully? If we are to talk of that, some part of the country will tell you that no, and some part of the country will tell you that yes. Because I happen to be a victim of this question you asked. That was the time I wanted to organize an international program in Ondo, I think in 2016. So the people I sent letters to, invites to come to Nigeria. I want to tell you, some of them from Netherlands, some of them from UK, some of them from US. Their family convinced them not to come to Nigeria, that Nigeria was not in peaceful coexistence at that time. But some of them came to Nigeria. And we had the program in the west, in the southwest. And that time, the issue of Boko Haram is going on in the north. So those people who convinced their family not to attend the program, they are not faulty, because that was what is happening, truly. But in the west, where we lived in the southwest, there was never such. There was never something like Boko Haram or all this banditry there. So you are getting me. So if this question is being asked from somebody who is living in the southwest, it will tell you that there is, yes.
Okay.
It will tell you that there is peace. But if we are to talk of those people living in Kaduna, those people living in Borno, in where the issue of banditry and the issue of insurgency is happening, they will tell you that no. And I will tell you this, that Nigeria is not living in peaceful coexistence for now.
Ah, really?
Yes, yeah.
Even before and after the elections?
Even before and after the election.
Oh, wow.
Yes. I think you can get it right if the new government can do some changes. that will better the...
Will any new government actually make any change if we have just been there before the elections and still after the elections we're still having this talks about insecurity? Do you ever think that anyone will make it right?
You know, yes, you know, that is the reason for what we call election. That, okay, if you say this current or the former administration or the current administration is not doing well, maybe in terms of infrastructure or maybe in terms of insecurity, maybe in terms of anything. So that means when the 4 years term tenure ends, before the election, people should come out and vote somebody that you know that it can change the narratives. So surely if we have a good leader now, I think this story will change.
All right, so now, what exactly would you say is missing? What are we missing on, and how do we actually get it right? How can we buffer that change that we're looking for? Yes, we've been talking about we want change and then we want a new government, and now we have a new administration ongoing. So how can we actually buffer that change if our coat of arms still carries that peace, faith, progress, and then we still have on peaceful coexistence, just like you talk about? How do we then buffer the change?
Yeah, I want to tell you what we call change to start from me, you, and every other person. It is not talking of changes, a better society. It's not a responsibility of government alone. How have you been able to change what is bad within your constituency? How has the people leading the studentship society has been able to change the narrative of what people have been complaining about them before? How has people who are entrepreneurs has been able to change what people have been complaining about, maybe about the scale or about the price control and all this? You know, in Nigeria, if something like during when there is hike in fuel price and all this, Nigeria loves something like let me take as an example those bakers, the loaf baker, the bread bakers. They will increase the price of the bread during any hike in price, and they will never bring it down. Are you getting? And government does not even have control on it. Yes, same with transporters. They won't bring that price down. So let the change start from me, let it start from you, and let's start from every one of us. After that, let's now think of how can we engage people in government. That, okay, we, the society, we are doing this. Okay, even you people that you are living in a society where it's been disturbed by insurgency or by banditry and all this, have you been able to even go out to complain to people in charge, like the security?
I've always seen people say that way. They went to complain, and then when the people they complained to, they came back to attack them.
Thank you so much. That is true. But there's another thing is we need to make use of this researching for what is useful to our society. It is not only police or soldiers or all the security people that you can complain to. There are some, like there is public complaint commission. Yes, and we have it in all over the country. Yes, if you have the fear of going to security agencies to make your complaint, kindly go to public complaint, this thing, explain to them what is happening, tell them they should just keep your names anonymously, that you don't want anybody to quote you. Hope you are getting me. And if this is not working, let us move to, we have traditional rulers. Let us move to our traditional rulers. Let's talk to them. Sir, something is happening around me. I don't want you to mention my name, but you can just try to make something.
Is that ever possible?
If that is possible, it's possible. It's possible. And we can also challenge the authority. If we are looking for changes, we can challenge the authority. I've made a move some times ago when there is a man, that person is not an educated person, but he loves fighting for people's rights. So there is a particular traditional ruler who used to cheat on people's rights. So this man used to challenge this traditional ruler. But one day, there was a case of armed robbery in a small village like that. And this traditional ruler told the hunters, the local security guard, that they should tell the SARS, that was during the SARS of 18, that the man, that they heard the voice of that man. So they arrested him. When they told me it was around, he has spent about 2.5 years in prison in Akure before they told me. So when they told me, I said, okay. And we started. I want to tell you that when this man spent 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days, that was when I was able to release him from prison, because I have a team of lawyers who work with the organization, and the person who took charge of that case was Barrister Abdulsalam Al-Fatah in Liberty in Osogbo. And we went to Ondo. We fought this case for almost 4 or 5 months, and there were 2. We released 2 of them to the glory.
So isn't that 1 out of 100?
That
cases?
Is 1 out of 100 cases. But through our organization, we have done so much. I can't just be mentioning. We have done so much. And I believe that if you can still have some organizations the organizations who are not a governmental one, that can also be doing this kind of a thing. Like if anybody comes to me to make a report of any rape or a report of any kind of illegal something around, we used to move forward. We have our people around. We used to move. So that's why I said it is the responsibility of everyone. You can also just, as you are a media practitioner, you can also have your own organization. You have your team. If you don't have much time for that, you'll be giving them some links that, okay, you can do this, you can do that. That's also part of your responsibility. Hope you are getting me. You can extend these tentacles, and by doing this, I believe you will surely get it right one day in this country.
Now, if since while we were growing up, we've always recited the national anthem, and then you recall that clause in the national anthem that says, the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. And we keep reciting this national anthem in schools, in public places and all. It means that these issues that we've been having have been there over time, even before our heroes have been able to tried to fight it, but then it's still there. So how exactly do we now begin to, as an individual, if it's been there over time, it's been there for decades, how do we now begin to change the narrative now?
That is when we are able to let it reflect that it is a collective effort. Like as I am giving out my own responsibility to the quota now, if, as I know you now, my brother, every other person, every other organizations, if we can also come together to make sure that this what has been happening for a very long time, we want to fight the battle to a positive point, you can do it. We extend the tentacles through the world level, through the political world level. Let's take it through the local government level. Let's take it through the state level. You see, in 2017, we started a project. We call it Catch Them Young.
Okay.
I want to tell you, we have touched about 13 states, and we have reached almost 370 secondary schools. Primary school not left out. And even up to date, as I'm talking to you, we still have, if not because of election, we still have some schools to visit this week before the election. But okay, because we learned that that there will be a vacation on Thursday or so we are making a pending on that till after the.
Okay, so now here you talk about how you actually deal with this issue right from the word, from people individually. Yeah. How about the leaders? Now you hear people, politicians or public office holders often make statements that will just hit the polity. You hear someone say that, even before the election started, you hear some politicians say, if you don't vote for my party, then you definitely would deal with you. And then you hear some other persons make statements like, you have to vote for my party. Then they just keep throwing jabs at each other, which definitely hits the polity. And at the end of the day, they call it political brouhaha, political jingoism, call it different names. So if you are dealing with the people individually, if you're dealing with children from the ward, from the primary schools, the secondary schools, how do you then deal with your own political leader who makes statements publicly that would definitely hit the polity when they know that they have supporters?
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me first talk of how can we deal with them first. We can deal with them directly. They are human beings like us. I want to tell you this, and I want anybody who is listening or watching this to also have it at the back of their mind that we can deal with them directly. I have made an verifiable struggles in the past that if I'm to check the records of our organization, we have trained about 1,000, if not 1,616, 1,614 people based on entrepreneurship, like vocational training. It is not by our power, it is not by our money. We do not have that strength. What we do is, you are a politician, you are a political office holder. You have to change the narratives of in our society. What we do is we meet them. We don't know them. We just go to an office. We introduce ourselves. We are from World Institute for Peace. We are here to tell you that you can make some changes in the society without even spending much of your money. How can you sponsor some resource persons who can train people on different vocations? We have done that. It is not only when the election is coming that we need to be engaging them. When they are in that office.
And they're supposed to know better. You have a particular government that says that the election, before the election, he actually stated that they're trying to bring in interim government, even when Nigeria has embraced the constitution, and then we don't have anything to do with that anymore. And then you have another person again coming out to say that instigating talks about coup d'etat. I have people making such statements.
For me, I believe that is just a rumor. And you know, whenever people hear rumor that is so panic in nature, they will voice it out. Some people will voice it out so that people in the country or at the authority will find something to do about it before it goes out of hand. I think that's a rumor, because I don't think
Are you saying that the governor had made that statement? Just that was a rumor from him?
That was a rumor, because
we heard him say it though.
Some people, I think some people will hint him about that information, and he, as a sitting governor, will need to voice it out, because that person may not have the chance to voice out on that issue. But he, as a governor, have the chance, because you cannot, even if you say it, you cannot arrest him that time because of the immunity of the thing.
That's what we're saying. So why do you have to make it when you know that you should know better? As a public office holder, but how much what you just said will definitely hit the polity?
It is not because I'm not siding the governor or anybody who has said that. Even I think Lamina Kamiludeen also said same. So I'm not, but you know, this time like there was a time somebody sent me a voice note. He was telling me that right now from Ibadan to Ikire, that's along Lagos Abuja expressway, that there is a particular people, S-men, that they are raping people on the street with guns and everything. I then asked, and where did you record this voice note? The person did not reply me up to now. Because whenever I write something, whenever I put something on social media, I do put my line and my contact. I put email and WhatsApp there. The person, and later, I think about 2 or 3 days, people were just sending this voice note here and there, here and there, here and there. So, and we have also seen somebody who sent a voice, that is one, who sent a voice note to me that something is happening right now in a particular place in Osun State, in Ejigbo local government. May I tell you, he went to report to police officers. They said that is a rumor. But after, I think 2 days after, that thing was found a reality. So any information that is germane, that is all about security of this country, we need not to play with it. We need to voice out. I think that is what the governor did.
So now, if you have them, most presidential candidates come out to sign the peace accord, at least in respect of their own party, or help their party to sign the peace accord, it means that they should definitely know what they should do and what is written therein, the terms and conditions with regards to instituting peace especially for elections. Now, why do we have people coming out to sign the peace accord and yet they still instigate so much violence in their constituency? I've seen some videos that you put out, and then you have people who are supposed to know better, but then they still sign the peace accord and then they still instigate violence. Does it mean that they do not know what they are signing into?
They know what they are signing, but because there is no implementation or there is no any penalty against them. If there is a kind of penalty in our constitution that after when you have signed a peace accord before the election, and if you are found guilty of that, this is something will happen whether you win the election or not. Are you getting me? That time they will set their thinking.
So what does penalty mean to you? What kind of penalty are you looking at for
Yes,
such people, especially those that like you said, they have immunity clause?
Yeah. If the penalty, if we are to talk of the penalty, you know, once the penalty should be that before the swearing, you know, after the swearing like this, you don't have anything to do with him until that tenure is over, if he is not able to be re-elected again. But the penalty should be within the context of the period of electing that person before the swearing in, or if the person who has committed such offence again after the peace accord this thing, so they should hold that person responsible for what happened through his party. That time people will reset their thinking, as I said.
All right, let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue this conversation with Lamina Kamiludeen. I'll see you shortly.
People who are talking of who are hailing the judgment, that injunction, they are doing that within the context of sentiments.
How so?
Yes, thank you. I cannot, because I'm a human rights activist or a peace advocate, that everything just be criticizing everything destructively. No, the material will not get to that spot till the time when the election is supposed to end. Are you getting me? But if they make use of the management of the parks in each state, it will make it easier.
Why not go through the national? Why go through a state?
There is no single...
Because we've always heard reports saying that some state chairmen are even more powerful than the national chairman.
But let me tell you something. You know, now in Nigeria, before we have two organizations that control the transport in the country, we have National Union of Road Transport Workers, and we have the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. No, today it's not like that again. In Lagos, they are using Lagos State Park Management Scheme. That is one. In Oyo, they are using Oyo State Park Management. In Osun, they have also changed from NURTW now to Park Management. And the body in the national you are talking of is NURTW. Those park management in those states, they are not under NURTW again. The road, the RTN, they are not also under their national again, because their state, there is changes in states now. Hope you are getting me. It is not that they have any national body. There is no national body.
If you just joined us, this is The Conversation. We are reaching you from Kaftan's Television here in the nation's capital, Abuja. We've been chatting with Lamina Kamiludeen. He is the executive chairman of World Institute for Peace. All right, before we went on that break, we've actually talked about how to throw penalties for those who institute violence, especially before and after elections. Now, still talking about after elections, the elections are gone already, and then you still have people who will definitely say, okay, no, I don't accept defeat. I'm not ready to shake hands with who the person that just won. So for such people, and then they already have in mind that I am heading straight to the court. Now, in all of this, how exactly are you expecting the judiciary to come in, seeing how much we've had the first challenge of the Naira and the cash, the CBN cash swap, and then how you had the Supreme Court give one particular order, the president give another order, and then the CBN governor comes to give another order, more like a conflicting orders coming forth. So how exactly are you expecting the judiciary to act from now till before the swearing in?
Concerning the order from the Supreme Court, I think Supreme Court should just hold on, because there's nothing they can even do to the president, because of the immunity. That's what we have said earlier. So there's nothing the Supreme Court can do to Mr. President. If it is any other person now, the Supreme Court can give another injunction.
But that's the apex court of the land.
Yes, there's nothing they can do to him. For now, the immunity is there. If there is no immunity, we know the Supreme Court, after God on this planet Earth, Supreme Court is the next. Hope you are getting. Whether you are president of a country or you are this thing, Supreme Court is the next after God. But because of the immunity given to president and governors, so they can just take it along that. But I want the Supreme Court to challenge or to make sure they brought anybody who has violated their decision to book after when the person leaves the office. Yes. I will still come back on that. If I can even also, our organization can also organize a kind of conference on that. Supreme Court should make sure that they penalize whoever that has violated their decision after when the person leaves the office. So, and again, for anybody who may not love to, who may not be happy about the outcome of the result, the best is there. The best to do is there. There is tribunal. You can see what happened in Osun in recent time. It is in the court that we knew that there are some infractions. That's when the lawyer for the INEC and the expert that the INEC hired, and even the lawyer to the defendant, the respondent, the governor admitted that there was infraction, that there was overfooting. Hope you are getting me. Before that time, before the APC went to the tribunal, some people even, I know some people will have even advised the former governor of that state that it should not go, that the election was announced down. But it was when they got to the tribunal that we know, see what happened later. When they deducted the normal results from this and that, and tribunal declared the loser, the person that we said he was a loser of that election, they declared him winner. That's when they deducted the overvoting from the original votes. Hope you are getting. So, if that man is not so kind, if not so that be patient about the outcome of the result, the state might be on fire up to now. Hope you are getting, because he said he has the fact. It's the fact that he has that made him to go to court. If it's the person who did not want to go to court and now instigate his people that they should go on rapid on this thing, so the state will be on fire by now. So anybody who is not happy about the outcome of the presidential elections should also go to tribunal, and they should tell their followers that vandalizing people's property is not the best, like what happened in Osun. You know, when the tribunal gave judgment, they even killed somebody in Osogbo. There is appeal, there is supreme. Let them go. Whoever that might not happy about the outcome of the result of the presidential election should please go to tribunal. There is appeal and there is supreme.
Now let's talk about your organization, World Institute for Peace. How exactly do you have you been able to bring up peace, not only locally, nationally, but also internationally? Have you been able to, what kind of efforts do you bring in terms of instituting peace to buffer that name that you have in your organization?
Thank you so much. World Institute for Peace is an organization that's saddled with responsibilities of promoting culture of peace, enhancing humanitarian services, preserving people's rights, developing youth and children. And we have our administrators, our ambassadors in over 50 countries in the world, which means we have our wings across the world where we exist. And I want to tell you that our groups in other parts of the world, they used to have their own projects. like moving out to people to talk to people about why they need to be in peace. Like what is happening, there was an issue between India and Pakistan, I think between 2016, 15, 16, 17 or so. That's what happened at Punjab.
Mm.
Our men were they were there because we have our branch, we have our chapters in Pakistan, we have our chapter in India as well. And I want to tell you, the President General for the Board of Directors of our organization today is an author from India. That's in person of Dr. Jenai Singh Anand. And the Secretary General of our organization is from Pakistan, Professor Muhammad Sanazar. So we picked the leaders from the disturbed areas. And I also want to tell you that it is not that we do not focus our activities on Africa. Yes, but we have a verifiable center in Africa. The leader of our organization in Africa is Professor George Onsi. He is a retired lecturer from Egyptian Rosan University in Cairo. He has visited Nigeria twice. He has came to give lectures in two of our programs. He came in 2017. He also came in 2018. And also, the leader of our organization in West Africa is a two-term minister in Ghana, who is now a member representing Wa Central District of Ghana at Ghana Parliament. That's the person of Honorable Dr. Rasi Pepo. He has also came to Nigeria twice. He visited Nigeria. He attended our program twice in Nigeria, where he came to give some reasons why Nigerians need to live in peace.
And how did that actually come along? You still have ethnic riots, you still have religious sentiments here and there, especially in Nigeria. So with what you did in Pakistan, how were you able to double your efforts in your own country, Nigeria?
Thank you so much. I want to tell you that if you can check the records, even there was an issue in Kwara State. There is a town, I think, Ilowa and Ilova. We were there, and we made our move. We met with people who are being angry, and to the glory of God, everything calmed down. That is one. Secondly, in Plateau State, I was in Plateau for almost 2 months in 2018, during which there was an issue between some, I think, religious and tribal, this thing, I think Kanuri also, that time, I will remember. And that time, we made sure that we have a better fashion of organization head by Dr. Lumazio there. And also in Bauchi, as I'm talking to you, we lost one of our active ambassadors there yesterday. He came on Sunday. He came back from church, wanted to enter his room, and he fell. He died instantly. So we have our tentacles across, and we are doing fine. We are making sure that we used to have a community-based discussion, discuss with people, move out to the villages, talk to people. Mama, we also encourage using the local language instead of speaking English all the time. Because those boys who are making this issue, those people, they can't speak English. So we make it to every one of the chapters, that anywhere you want to go, anywhere you want to engage people, talk to them in their language. Don't speak English. If you are in another country, don't speak your general language. Speak the language. If you can't speak, ask someone who can. In Italy, we had a program in Italy where our people, they were moving from one community to the other. What they did was, they just pick about 10 of them that can speak different languages.
Okay.
Yes. So that's how we...
Okay, so I also know that you are an international human rights activist. So how exactly can we tame this incessant issue of rape, domestic violence, either by words or emotional or financial violence? How exactly can we tame this? Because if we have to talk about even female genital mutilation, which we already know that in so many society it is there, they will tell you that this is we brought it from our ancestral gene, so we cannot even erase it. So how do we tame this? Aside the female genital mutilations, you still have breast ironing, and then you still have these unfair practices done to widowers or widows when they lost their husband, and then they tell you that they will pick everything that belongs to you in so many societies. What have you been able to do in terms of lecturing people, not only not just people who are affected or the victims, but also parents, traditional leaders on the effect of all of this?
Thank you so much. People who knows much about organization, they will tell you much that if it comes to any issue of human rights violation, you don't take it. I don't want to know who you are. I don't want to know. So our organization doesn't want to know whether you are, even if you are my family, we will fight you to the extent that you must equally penalize the way it is.
God forbid, if your senior brother rapes a woman, God forbid, would you penalize
even my mom? My mom knows. My mom, as I have my mom knows the kind of child she has. And I thank God my elder brother is also a human rights activist. He's the one who brought me to this limelight. He's a lawyer. So he knows. If he hears anything about me, you know that if it's just about that, he won't even listen to me. So we have, but let me tell you, let me give you an instance. There was a time I was in Ondo, and somebody called me that in Osun that there was a case of rape. 3 boys were raping a girl, and the father of the victim, of the lady, caught them on spot. This man went to call this Amatekun. When he called the Amatekun was able to catch one of them, the one that was even raping the lady at that time. So the 2 flee. So when they called me, just between my movement from Ifetedo in Osun State, that's Osun South, to Irepodun, Ilobu, where the incident happened, I received call more than 100 different calls. They said when the victim mother came back from market, she started fighting husband. That as if forget that the boy who was raping their daughter is a child to our own elder sister. Hope you get the gist. The mother was telling the husband that why would her husband arrest her nephew? But I said no. That boy must be taken to book, despite the calling and everything. So we had different kind of issues like that. Anything that has to do with human rights violation, our organization doesn't play with it. We will make sure that we fight it to the end.
All right.
Yes.
So now I came across a recent comment that you made on social media where you stated that you asked President Muhammadu Buhari to increase the salaries of Nigerian military, and that you wish that this will be done before he leaves the seat. Why exactly did you make that comment? And then what are your plans? What if, do you actually think that if he doesn't make that move, this new administration rather that has come into that is already taken into seat, would they actually decide to take up that responsibility? Yeah,
well, why I said that first is, you know, let us praise the security men, not only in this country, in the whole world, for leaving their home. I want to tell you that most of our security men have lost their loved ones. Like someone one day will just wake up, he will receive a letter that he has been transferred to a faraway place to where his family is. And within 1 or 2 years, the wife may lose the relationship. Hope you are getting me. And this has caused them a lot of things. That is one. Secondly, for them to even think of, I want to be a security officer in this country, it is not easy. In the world, it is not easy. Recently, we published a book. We call it Soldiers Deserve Accolade. It is projected by the former Chief of Army Staff of this country, Chief General T.Y. Buratai. So the book is is a poem. It's a collection of poems, anthology. So we just asked poets all around the world. People submitted poems from about 200. I have the copy here. They submitted poems from all around the world, eulogized the soldiers. You know, it is not easy. If you yourself, if you learn of how much the salary of Nigerian soldiers are. Let me take Nigerian soldiers for instance. If a soldier, somebody who can leave his family, can leave his father, can leave the wife, and go out to face war, go out to face those kind of issue every day, and be given
But some of them are doing it for service.
For
some of them are doing it for the service and not for the money.
So they are just they came to this world to to give us service. They came to this world not to have children. They came to this world not to have wife. They came to this world not to have a better living. No. It is better, it is good, it is encouraged that they also have the passion to defend their country. But the government must see them as what do I call it? As a gift of a nation. This will encourage them the more. 45,000 naira is a money that somebody would just say, Annabel, take. Even for greeting him, just say, Annabel, take this 45,000 naira. And somebody who faces a lot, who sleeps under sun, who sleeps under rain, somebody who do not, for almost 1 year, they only wear one clothes, and their salary is 45,000, 47,000 naira. That is too bad. And people will still continue complaining that these security men are not doing well. They are doing well, and nobody wants to die. Like if we hear any gunshot now, I know every one of us will live here. We will just find our means. But these people, they will stay just to protect us. They protect us in the midnight. They protect us in the daybreak, and their salary is 45,000 naira joining. So I beg Nigerian government to please increase the salary of our security agents. Not only the Nigerian, the police officers. Like I said it earlier, I said it in the past that even the contributory pension, you know, the government granted the contributory pension of the DSS. Now the police are still on that contributory pension. Police, they are still on that contributory pension.
Wasn't that one of the demands, or some of the demands that were made by the NSAS protesters at some point? And then you just actually thought that those youths, they'll tell you that we were fighting for you, and then you are fighting us.
But they haven't. But do you know, they, even if anybody have made that demand before, government hasn't done anything about it. That is the issue of NSAS. I don't want to go to NSAS. I don't want to talk about the NSAS, because if you are to talk of the NSAS, people who are viewing this, who are watching us, they know we started the NSAS. The NSAS started in Osogbo. Not the story people are giving that it started in Warri. No, the NSAS started in Osogbo, in Osun. We started it. The one that happened in Warri was just a riot. They made a riot one day like this. The police bombarded everywhere. Third day, we started the NSAS when the JTF in Osogbo were chasing after a car. They said those guys and the guys in the car that they are Yahoo boys. And unfortunately, those guys, they had accident. One of them died. That is the day we started the NSAS. And third day, they continue in, they join us from Lagos. But I have some thing that it is not permissible to talk on social media about that. But what I just need is Nigerian government should make sure that they do better in taking care of the Nigerian security officers. All right.
Now, you also made another article where you titled "Open Letter, a Call for Arrest," and attached a video where you asked the DSS, Osun State Command, and copied other security officials at the echelon of affairs to arrest a man who made the video instigating violence and kidnap, even though the political party you didn't mention, but he was mentioned there, so we'll not even give ourselves headache on that. Yeah. So are you able to follow up on that story? What exactly is the outcome?
Thank you. I followed it up, and he was invited Firstly, was invited by Nigerian police force, but they released him that day. Then I talked to the DSS that I learned that this guy has been released. They said that's no worry. I want to say kudos to the DSS. They got him arrested. They got him invited second day. And he was there for almost 2 or 3 days with them for questions. So, and they released him based on undertaking. And when they released him, I still have the video. He went back home to where he made that statement that people should be that when people heard of gunshot, that his party is the one doing that. Okay, he went home and made another video. I have the video. He said this is for peace. That he did not even mean that kind of. You see, that is what we do in what is for peace. Not only that, many people have been killed in Osun State in the last few months, in the last 6 or 7 months to this time. About 15 people have been killed. Every day we continue talking about it. I have submitted letters to the IG. I have submitted letters to the Chief of Defence Staff. I submitted letters to the Chief of Army Staff. I submitted letter to President Muhammadu Buhari himself. This letter that you just read, I submitted it to the President at the Asofila. I will now call the attention of all the service chiefs under the letter. So we pray that the President work on that.
All right, so before the D-Day to the elections, that's the presidential and the National Assembly elections, we saw a report where Justice Chukwujeku Aneke of the Federal High Court, Lagos, granted the prayer of Labour Party seeking an order to bar the Independent Electoral Commission, Independent National Electoral Commission, I beg your pardon, that's INEC, from using the chairman of Lagos Parks and Garages, that's Musiliu Akinsoya, popularly known as MC Oluomo, from distributing election materials in Lagos State. A lot of people actually hailed that judgment. A lot of people made so many interpretations with regards to that message. A lot of people turned it to something else. So, and then some people even said that at least this is the beginning of dismantling corrupt practices, especially not only in Lagos, but also in Nigeria. What are your read or interpretations to that? Let
me tell you, everybody, those people who are talking of, who are hailing the judgment, that injunction, they are doing that within the context of sentiments.
How so?
Yes, thank you. I cannot, because I'm a human rights activist or a peace advocate, that everything will just be criticizing everything destructively. No. The INEC, they need the service of the park management if truly they want their materials to get to everywhere. Let me tell you a fact. During election in Osun, I knew that things has changed to what has been before. The INEC officials and those people who also manage the BFAS, they were trekking. Instead of having a bus standing that will take them from that place
to the polling
drop units. Them to their, no, not to the polling unit, to just drop them to their junction or to drop them at the INEC office where they can disperse to anywhere they want to go. These people, some of them were there for long before they see bike down. I have some people who operated the BFAS during the Osun district. A girl traveled from that point to her house for almost 40 minutes. So you are getting. And we have been having a kind of issue before that even the material will not get to that spot till the time when the election is supposed to end. Are you getting me? But if they make use of the management of the parks in each state, it will make it easier.
Why not go through the national? Why go through a state?
There is no single...
Because we've always heard reports saying that some state chairmen are even more powerful than the national chairman.
But let me tell you something. You know, now in Nigeria, before we have two organizations that control the transport in the country, we have National Union of Road Transport Workers, and we have the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria. No, today it's not like that again. In Lagos, they are using Lagos State Park Management Scheme. That is one. In Oyo, they are using Oyo State Park Management. In Osun, they have also changed from NURTW now to Park Management. And the body in the national you are talking of is NURTW. Those park management in those states, they are not under NURTW again. The road, the RTN, they are not also under their national again, because their state, there is changes in states now. Hope you are getting me. It is not that they have any national body. There is no national body. Like for Osun, for Ondo, for Oyo, for Lagos, there is no national body for them. The Oyo state have their own park management. And they disbanded the NURTW. The Lagos also follow suit. The Ondo state also follows suit. The same thing as Osun state. So there is no national. So, but if INEC wants the material to get to where they should make use of the park management, that is the fact.
Let's end this conversation. After 2023 elections, after the much talked about elections, and Nigerians have finally decided. So for you, and for the rest of Nigerians, and for your followers, what do you tell them? What next? Are we actually looking up to smooth running administrations for the next 4 years, that's from now till 2027, or we should be looking at till 2031, or what is it for you?
Yeah, for me, it's after the election, immediately after the election, people should first have it at the mind that peace is the first thing. You should first develop what you call peace of mind. When you have the peace of mind, you'll be able to go on with your entrepreneurship activities. You'll be able to move on with what you do. They also still have your peace of mind. You'll be able to have the tendency of engaging your leaders. So in the way they can benefit the society. So my own vision for the election, for the post-election, is the new government should please retrace what we have seen or described as abnormality in the past. Yes. And they should also have the passion for human capacity at the center of the art. They should please engage youth the more. And most importantly, security of lives and properties should be their watchword.
Thank you so much, Kamiludeen Lamina. It's been a wonderful time having this talk with you.
Thank you so much.
All right, viewers, thank you so much for listening. We have been chatting with Kamiludeen Lamina. He is the Executive Chairman of World Institute for Peace, and it's been a wonderful time here on The Conversation. How time flies when you're discussing serious matters that concerns our very own country, Nigeria. I'll see you again next time. Keep watching The Conversation, because you never know what my next topic will be all about and who my next guest will be. Till I come your way again from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Annabel Orji. God bless you and yours. God bless Nigeria.